was such an extreme difficult move to make. The fact that Waffenach could do it means that perhaps he's starting to come into himself, because there are very few ways at the time that can close a gap in a situation like that.
He was the only one who did it, actually. Everyone else was just looking up in that second group. But only got back on because the front group, 21 years of age, but he's one of the most trusted teammates of much of us. And it was clearly pre-planned. And they also anticipated that when the flag dropped,
that's an absolutely massive vertical press. You're into the just back there. Back.
just right to Marco Haller to the front, and Manuel Schmidt and these students have quite a marked effect on the lead of Mathieu van der Poel and Jonas Vrinkers. We think there's around about 17 kilometres to go until the next potential on liberation. Marcel Bloch was told that he probably wouldn't live for much more than alterations now. Incidentally, if you do know a little bit about aviation and don't recognise the word Bloch, he changed the name, went by the nickname Chardasson. I can't read that. There we go. It feels like that with so many teams getting involved that Peloton has this back under control.
Yeah, it's almost the way we end up seeing teams that you wouldn't expect riding at a sprint stage. So it appears that the trend of some of these teams who do need to be up there, who have to
Contribute too much in the end. But at least you might be moving on to the right hand side.
look like Jacob is pulled out. So it was a brief stint if that's the case.
Contribution to a time gap that's gone down by around about a minute. Around about in third place in the points competition. Then comes Tadej Pogacar, who obviously didn't pick up any points today in that European sprint, 156. But Pogacar is, after the intermediate sprint, 40 points now, sorry, 41 points behind Jonathan Mina, who leads the competition. He's 3 points short of 200. He's on 197.
Against late easy riders. There's very different days racing, and it's one of the first times, but it's extremely rare. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, 53 kilometres an hour, that is about standard for today's lightning fast stage in very, very hot weather. But they are taking time, but as you can see from the riders working on the front, it is coming at a furious cost. And they are beginning to tilt it back in favour of the peloton now as the time gap comes down to 1 minute 53 seconds. But all these little switches in direction, there's so much nervousness in this peloton, and they're anticipating that the crosswinds, well, we're not done with them just yet. And as a result, you can see the yellow jersey. In contrast to yesterday, Tadej Pogacar is right up towards the front, and so too is, I think, Jonas Vingegaard. But there's only so much room at the front of this bike race, and everybody was trying to get there.
Yeah, it is, and the chase that's been led in this middle phase of the race has been by Tudor, Jacob, Uno X, Israel Premier Tech, and Arkea, but they rotate through riders pretty quickly because it is actually extremely hard to do what they're doing at the moment, because the speed they're having to do to eat into that gap with this tailwind, it requires such high power, and we're seeing a pretty high rotation of riders. This isn't a case of just sticking one or two riders in the front and letting them do the work. I think I've seen about 6 or 7 different riders.
Mathieu van der Poel sweating up like a thoroughbred in the paddock at work. It's so hot. Just as it was, I remember very clearly in 2008 when Mark Cavendish rode to the first station. Two things happening these riders, if you like, militating against those riders. Let's just have a listen to Israel Premier Tech, what you see on the But it's interesting that they don't think that the sections are long enough in one direction to actually
Crossing the section causes the damage, but then you have to keep it going, keep the high speed up once you get into the tail of the section once more. I think with tomorrow ahead of them, I think there's not going to be any GC teams that are really interested in trying something like this. So it's really kind of to hang on and perhaps just tell Mathieu van der Poel, you've got to put him a long rest to try and recover and contribute again, rather than how hard it is to move when you recover right like Campenas, who is just going so deep just to move up the peloton.
I hope for his sake that Oscar Henry is in a good position, because he was definitely caught out last time. That's the right-handed turn, and the crosswinds will come over their right shoulders when they do take that turn, which they are approaching at, with Jonas Abrahamsson on the front, 70 kilometres an hour downhill. Whoa. Hold on to your hats here on this corner.
And then we'll see there's no team at the moment up there that are going to miss it. They're either defensive game, no one's going offensive. But it's those moments that will really eat into the time gap. Those huge surges into these crossing
Real puncher, bad moment as well. Well, there are no remaining good moments for a puncher on stage line. Whatever that Movistar team car is.
You can see they're just testing it almost. But you get shots through the back, see what's happening there, because often at the front it can all look okay, and then the back gets ripped to pieces, but at the moment still looks okay.
Well, for now, the bunch is mostly staying together. It's under high stress though at the front and at the back, and each time they surge, they take a little bit more time on Mathieu Van Der Poel. And Hawkinson is there, but it's quite a long way down, and that's so too is well and hard. So they've got a lot of numbers there potentially. Doesn't stop Mathieu, is there? Just an element of cross-tail to him as well that's doing the damage. And he's also, for the first time really, it's a slightly undulating terrain, which is making it even more difficult.
Yeah, at this point I think everybody is just want to have a look at get absolutely battle to get back on. Notice when he's just taking the foot off the gas, realising the moments to get
So it just slows up towards the front of the engine as he moves towards the crash plane, approaching 25 kilometers to go. Time gap is now only 30 seconds to the guns on that. But it's just this slight low in the action allows this Bruce to come back together again. These two showing no signs yet that they're about to score in the day, I don't think. But they will be losing the lead in the viability of this election, I think, because they're starting to look around now and they're seeing this behind them. We can now run 1,500 kilometres on total distance of 3,338 kilometres from France. It's unusually long, almost abnormally long opening phase of racing. They race again tomorrow, don't forget, and we're extraordinary prospects of this second category 2 fastest 200. Totally different race tomorrow for totally different riders. I'll be betting against Mathieu Van Der Poel probably off the start ramp again tomorrow. Another third. Being caught simply by the fact that positioning and speeding to the person on that facilitates trying to save as much as possible
use him. He won't be able to be there at the critical moments of the race, but if they go over this and they just settle down, they can then save Neil's bullet and put a super car on front.
Time if they can to, not slip through two ends. Fingers there. UAE team Emirates. First block of work is done. They're going to fuel up and head in for a long day. It's not particularly in terms of kilometres long. They are 32 kilometres into today's race, but as you can see the die is cast, today is going to be one of the hardest days in the entire tournament.
Well, the peloton holding steady here. Everybody saving energy, waiting for the moment to strike. Lloyd's sponsors ITV's coverage of the Tour de France.
With a dream design contract, minimize you have to do a lot of business stuff right before you can start the actual design. Save time by using interim purchases and personalized invoices. Get paid faster. With the next dream design contract. Manage your business all in one place. Interim forms.
They're starting another, and that's it. I'm off.
So there's a quick glance backwards. This attack is not, and but he also quick champion when he was junior, winning the men's criterium when he was a junior. There is, if you search London,
Rider is another excellent, brilliant, outstanding sort of champion across mountain bike, cyclocross, gravel, road, riding his first Tour de France, but he hasn't made the front row breakaway from the break forced by them for the break. I tell you who has, Ben Healy. I suppose of the three introduced first riders in that group where you want Healy in there and really outcomes too. So Healy absolutely scintillating for you. And he really created a mini or even an actually masterpiece on stage to appear non-repeat. He started
both of this bike riders still there. The cameras are doing their cameras. Yes, he can climb, but he's climbing the bike. So yeah, it's a team. This is illustrious company. Sleep Radiance, cameras is managing to keep. I imagine he's
as far as that Jersey and short
the frontmost part of that breakaway because it's a breakaway that's changing every time now. It don't
in competition with high warriors, I'm not sure instantly respond that he had got to his story. Still was positive, still he has the courage. Now you can just to live away from the heavy in the cup of tea, and then you've got ours will stay tuned. Well, the peloton holding steady here. Everybody saving energy, waiting for the moment to strike. Lloyd's sponsors ITV's coverage of the Tour de France.
Gradually reduce grey is the easiest way. With Control GX Grey Reducing Shampoo. Reduce a little grey every time you wash for subtle looking results. Control GX just for men.
Exactly what he wants to have. He wants to go for faster to extend that gap on the other journey.
Well, this is a rampage for me. It's a rampage for all these riders, really. Any other team that you want to look at, we crossed it out for possibly 7th place. Yeah, I think that's a long shot again. That's getting back on. Sense. So we got 12 So, over the top of the Col de l'Equinox, or they go over the next categorised road, the Col de l'Equinox, that one there, it doesn't begin until 15 kilometres. So,
Even though there is chaos, like hopefully material flying stressful. Really solid. It's quick pushes in pressurized cases. Get paid faster. With the next thing for some contracts. Manage your own business or your race.
another team must have taken it up.
Another, I think it's Tim Mullins and Cervelo just going as deep as they can. So let's not forget the Stone of Eyes and Adam Yates left. So UAE can now finally expend Mullins and Cervelo.
Well, that distance, 1-4. We thought we'd seen the last of him. We were wrong last time. So I'm not going to definitively say that he's done for the day. It's been a heck of a ride. The Campanata Martinez and Valentin Panther in a bit of difficulty as the pace and the attacks keep coming at the front.
But still the gap, and it's Healy who's doing all the work.
Simmons looks round, he's still got that gap on Healy, but Healy's dragging everybody on his wheel. Nobody sharing the work with Healy. Simmons wants his gap and maybe growing it.
The battle between these two riders, Simmons and Healy, is playing right into the hands of Simon Yates, and he's feeling good. Because they're both, look at them, both just flat out now. Healy not able to close it at the moment.
Well, we know how something that Yates reads a situation on a climb like this, David. You only need to look back at the events at the end of May to know that he's a master at making other riders do the work. And then he can attack. If he's got anything like the legs that he had, he should attack it. If he can coach, he can stop favourite. Jersey should be secure for him. 11% the gradients.
Still, it's the same gap.
That's not changing, is it? Very different riders physically, and yet they are actually two teams. Moves up now to restore a bit of order from
Just going to ride. I think the stage win is out the window. He's just going to try and make it to the line with 1 minute 56 seconds on Tony Pogacar.
the massively competitive riders who are
sure that's on the radio, that's what they told him to do. Forget about them, just imagine you're on your own. 16 seconds out of the yellow jersey group.
And that in itself, just even saying that, Ben Healy outriding a rider in the status of Marc Soler and tiring him out and exhausting him is quite a compliment.
16 seconds out of the yellow jersey group.
And that in itself, just even saying that, Ben Healy outriding a rider in the status of Marc Soler and tiring him out and exhausting him is quite a compliment to make Ben Healy.
Yeah, like over 2 minutes into the yellow jersey at this point. And 1.5 pace, that's his five minute line. Short squeezes off, looks for Nash, just keep an eye. Just keep an eye on peripheral vision, just making sure something else isn't coming. Maybe
It's coming, it's coming, it is coming, and it's going to be Sepp Kuss once more. It's the American 1-2, other side of the road. Sepp Kuss, a different rider in a different position, just goes up to the front, that's not an attack, just it's fine.
Yeah, so Ismail Yusufayev now taking control of the race. They realise that UAE are riding a defensive race. They're perfectly happy with this race situation. Doing what they can with what they've got. But it's good news for Ben Healy and Sepp Kuss back in the front because Sepp Kuss, I think, is only yeah, he's just holding there. He is riding a defensive race. He's riding a conservative race. He's in the yellow jersey. And he knows the race is
Lipovitz crosses with Jorgensen, very little gaps there, very small gaps there potentially. As Oscar only crosses the line though, significantly ahead of this man. Kevin Buckland, who started the day in third place, but won't be